Welcome to the Jim Bakker Show, coming to you from the village of Morningside, snuggled in the beautiful Ozark Mountains. Today, Jim's special guest, Farmer John Musser. I'm Kevin Shorey and the Morningside Singers and Band. And now, direct from Gray Street at Morningside, here are your hosts, Jim and Lori Bakker.
Welcome to Gray Street.
Hi
so
there.
Grateful that you came by today.
We are.
So much is going on.
Yeah.
So much is happening. And we have things to share today. We have news that I'm reading a book called The Islamic Antichrist book. And I've invited the author to come, and he's agreed to come on the show. This is a startling book. This is probably one of the most shocking books, and I've read shocking books, but this, I've been wondering, who is the Antichrist? I wonder what's going on, and all the pieces, and it's like I've been building this big puzzle, Laura. You remember we build puzzles occasionally, and this great big puzzle, and all the pieces. You work with me on the puzzle every day, and we're putting the puzzle, and we study, we pray, we ask God to show us, and I've read 2 books this week. The Final Warning, Understanding the Trumpets. And this is so amazing. And we're going to go back to the trumpets because we're going to go backwards now. We're going to count backwards. We did the final trumpet,
yes,
the 7, but then we're going to go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go back to where we are and perhaps what we've gone through. And what this man, he really believes, Carl Gallups, he really believes that some of the trumpets have already taken place. So we'll be having him on. And I love his spirit. It's the kind of man who says, whether you're mid, or pre, mid, or post, tribulation, we're all friends.
Right.
We all love each other. If we hate each other, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to heaven. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah.
That's so right.
What does the Bible say?
Well, if you do not have love, you do not have love for the brethren, then,
That's right.
the
And we know
love
that
of the
we
Father's
have
not in you.
passed.
Yeah.
We know that we have passed from death to life also because we love the brethren.
That's right. And so the gospel people used to sing, a lot of people talking about heaven ain't a going there.
Ain't it going
And a
there?
lot
That's
of people fighting about religion, they're just not going there because you have to love one another. And so if we love each other, we're not going to fight about it. But God said we're to look for the return of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
We're to be anticipating his return. And that's what I'm doing. And I am in overload. I'm in overdrive. I'm in overload. And so much is happening. And just as I come on the air, I've been told that John Paul Jackson has just passed away.
Yeah.
And so I'm crying on one hand. I'm rejoicing that the King is coming back. But a lot is going on. A lot's going to happen.
Yeah.
We have a lot of news to share.
Yes.
And I never understand why God's people go home. But they all have to go home. The Bible says the appointed man wants to die. But why do good people like John Paul
I
Jackson
know.
have to go?
One of the
He was delightful.
so precious.
And
we were so honored to have him on our show, and he just
Remember
was
that
so
day we were
kind
on
to
the show
us.
with him
When we were
on Joni's?
when we were with Marcus and Joni, then we did Joni's Table Talk show, and he
was there.
He was there
As
with us,
co-host kind of.
right on the set on Joni's show, and he had read your book, and he knew your book inside and out. It was very amazing.
He knew my book better than I knew my book.
It was really good, and he was just so precious. And then we asked him to come and be with us, and
he did.
He did, and we just had
Such an honor to me.
Incredible time with him, and I mean, he really knew the Lord and now really knows the Lord, and we're praying for his family, for his wife Diane, for his children, for everyone.
R.T. Kendall.
R.T. Kendall, who's so close
R.T.
with him.
Kendall, I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for him.
Right.
And he was one of his best friends.
Yes.
Oh, why, Lord, why?
I don't know.
Do you ever ask why?
Sure.
It's all right.
Yeah.
he's stronger than we are.
Yes. Yeah.
But
But
It's-
it does rattle your spirit. Zachary said, I mean, Zach just said, this has gone
Yeah.
to your core of your spirit.
Yeah.
why did you say that?
I honestly don't know. But yeah, right before the show when we found out, I don't even know, but it just did something deep in my spirit.
I'm not even sure.
I can't
yet.
even explain it. It was just
Yeah.
that we lost such a man. I mean, he heard so clearly from God. I mean, these end times headlines that he would see, and
Yeah.
and it's up to us to make sure that type of legacy, his legacy, lives on.
Yes.
He was a man
Yes.
truly that had a Bible in one hand and the news in the other hand.
And
Truly.
that's exactly what I've been reading today. The prophecy is like having your newspaper in one hand and your Bible in the other hand. And that's truly what he did. And we're in an hour. I believe this year, I believe very, very soon, we're going to see such change. The book that I'm reading right now, the Antichrist book, but this book is like, as I said, like 1,000 pieces of a puzzle that fell into place. Can you see that in your
Yes.
vision? I said, God, show me who to come, who to
Right.
bring here,
That's true.
who's to come next.
Right.
And Kevin, these two books, and you remember when you snuck John Shory's book?
I did.
and you
It's all my fault.
and it laid right there. And these two books, I think, were in the same spot. They came, and they were laying right there. And I said, Lord, who should I invite? And so I take a stack of books home. When people send me books, I take a stack home, and I look over them, I pray over them, because I can't read them all.
No.
No.
I mean, I've read, this one here is so powerful that I'm reading it until my eyes don't focus anymore.
Right.
Did you ever read
Yes.
that? Oh?
Yes.
But the King is coming back.
Amen.
There is so much happening. The Antichrist, I believe, is alive.
Wow.
And people say, well, you guys are talking about the end times like you're looking for the Antichrist instead of Jesus Christ. Well, you better look for all the players on stage, because Jesus told us when they would come, who would come, and what would go on. And he said, when you see these things, they're a sign that he's coming. Amen?
That's
Amen.
right. And amen. I couldn't agree more with you.
There is so much to share with you, and I hope you will keep tuned. I know Bible teaching is boring to a lot of people. If it's too boring, you might, not because, you could be bored because of my teaching, but the problem is most people today aren't interested in the Word. But if you're interested in where you're going and what's happening, I believe we need to pay attention to what God's saying. And it's time now. The headlines, you talk about a newspaper in one hand and the Bible in the other. There is today the most shocking of shocking. It keeps happening. We've been reading about ISIS. We've been reading about their brutal killing of how many
21.
people totally is it now?
It was 20. Well, altogether, ISIS has killed over 170,000
people, brutally murdered them. Lori and I both saw the little children they beheaded. And Lori doesn't ever want to see that again. And I saw the video of the beheading of the 21 Coptic Christians on the beach.
in Egypt.
It's so unthinkable that I'm still not over it. I don't know if you'll ever be over it, Lori.
And we were talking with Mom last night, like she explained, she's been to Egypt, and she said, and she explained it even further to us, was that a Coptic Christian means that there's only a very small percentage of Christians in Egypt, because they are mostly of the Muslim faith. So therefore, it's like less than 5% that are actually Christians. And so you have to be strong in your faith to be in that percentage tile of this enormous nation of people. These are the men that you and Zach and Sasha and little Lori, you all watched it, and you watched those men be beheaded. And I was listening to the radio on the way home, and the news was on, and they were saying how the Pope had said that what the men were crying out was, at their last words were, "Help me, Jesus." And then their heads were gone. So
To see somebody's head severed right from their shoulders and the blood gushing out into the sea. And then we don't think it's strange. We don't know, hardly anybody has risen up. The Egyptians are rising up now.
Some people are starting to rise up, and I hear, I saw on the secular news also that there is a call out for Christians of all denominations to stand together and say, we're not going to take this.
It used to be unacceptable in behavior. Are you guys listening to me at all? Isn't it unacceptable?
Yes.
The fact that we accept this as normal behavior, we're in a big mess.
It's diabolical.
And then shortly after that, they murdered 45 in Iraq and burnt them to death. And they're burning people in cages like a rat in a cage. And burning is hell. That's what hellfire is. But burning is the most hideous thing. Have you ever had a little burn? You women burn yourself on your iron, just that burn hurts. Can you imagine?
No.
Just they build the fire small around them and just burn them to death as slow as possible.
No, I can't imagine.
And I have that article here right now. It's on the BBC News, and Pastor and I were talking before the show about how all of the news outlets are editing themselves. They're trying their best not to offend these crazy extremist Islamists.
What's going on? Why doesn't somebody worry about offending the Christians? I'm going to pull my cross out here. I was afraid to wear the cross in the Holy Land, in Jerusalem, the place of the cross. Because I know there were people there that hated the cross and could literally shoot me in the back. But I didn't care. I wore it anywhere. I wore my hat. And I think it's time that God's people say, we are not going to be ashamed of the cross, of the gospel. Because as we've studied these last days, and the Bible refers to the beheading. Said these in heaven are those who have been beheaded for the cross and for the cause of Christ. Isn't that right?
That's right. It says that in Revelation 20 verse 4. It says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark on their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years."
I was going to do something a few weeks ago, and I stopped wearing my hats again because people don't like me wearing hats, and so I try to be, open-headed about this. I'm open-minded. And but I found a hat that's a chaplain's hat, and they've outlawed the cross on chaplains' tents and things, and in some army situation they've even outlawed the Bible, which is, I don't know how you minister without your Bible, but they don't want to offend those who don't believe in the Bible.
Right, that's it. It's right on.
But the Bible speaks about, literally, sounds like there'll be millions who are going to be beheaded, millions who will lose their life in the last days that will not surrender to the Antichrist.
That's right. And if you would read the news today, you would think that Christians are the bad guys. You would think, I mean, whenever you have kids being disciplined for saying, God bless America, when kids are told that they can't read their Bibles in school, when crosses are being outlawed, and yet we give completely free reign to the Islamic community, let me tell you something. Whenever we don't talk about, whenever these people are being beheaded, 21 Coptic Christians, and it says these people could possibly be Christians, they could have possibly been beheaded. No, we saw it. You know, why does it say Islamic State militants burned to death 45 in Iraq? And it says this, exactly who were these people? And why were they killed? It says it in the article, it's not clear. I can tell you why they were killed. It's because they opposed ISIS.
Okay, and this is just a story of a week or two ago. Vandals set fire at Florida church. They write, Allah Akbar. Am I saying that right?
That's right.
And draw a swastika on the church. But the newspaper says, quote, this is possibly a hate crime. First of all, if you burn a church and put a swastika, you don't, why are we so careful? We're not careful about Christians. No. We're not careful about the cross. We're not careful about offending any preacher in America.
Yes.
And making fun of them. Hollywood makes fun of almost all preachers. They make them look out. They're all, Elmer Gantry and stupid idiots.
Yeah.
But we have sat back and let it happen until I think we're over the hill. We're over the hump.
Yes.
We're over it. I think it's too far. I think it's too far gone. And if you would read this book that I'm reading right now, documented, you will know it's later than you think it is.
Yes.
It's later than you think it is. And we're going to share some news. And I'm at wit's end because it seems like most of the church people today simply do not want to hear revelation. They simply do not want to deal with the last days. And we're going to wake up probably this year to events. For instance, what's coming? I believe there will be attacks on America before the end of this year. I believe this with all my heart. I've been saying it. I believe it's going to be something that's going to shake us to our core. But look, let's see. I have headlines here. Look at this. ISIS planning attack on U.S. soil. Do you have that story?
I do. And it says this. It says, ISIS is planning attacks on U.S. soil. It says Egypt, now at the forefront of fighting ISIS, is warning it has intelligence revealing the global jihadist group is planning a worldwide offensive this spring or summer that could reach targets within the United States. Interrogations of ISIS members captured in recent weeks in the Egyptian Sinai Peninsula, Egyptian and information collected by Egyptian security forces indicate ISIS is planning ground offenses this spring and summer. Now, it's interesting that Pastor Jim asked me, and I'm not setting any dates here, so don't think that. I'm just observing here. Pastor said, well, what day does spring start? And I said, I believe it's sometime in March. And I looked it up. It starts March 20th.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
March 20th is the very first day of spring. And like we've said before, if we look at what tradition says that the rabbis have studied, complete solar eclipses have always meant judgment on Gentile nations.
A report from Egypt estimates that ISIS has 180,000 armed fighters ready.
That's right. And just to put that in perspective, just in September, less than 6 months ago, the top reports were saying that there was a maximum of 31,500 people in ISIS. Now it's over 180,000 people, and their territory is the size of the UK.
Wow.
Growing every day.
Yes.
all over the world, Europe, the United States. This is what they said. The FBI finds it extremely difficult to track every American traveling abroad who can join ISIS or receive training by foreign terrorist organization. Steinbeck said there are individuals that have been in communication with groups like ISIS who have a desire to conduct an attack, and those people are living in the United States right now.
Well, Pastor, we have people in America that are warning about this right now. It just, we feel like a broken record. It's like we're telling the problems, we're even telling the solutions, but it almost seems like nobody is listening. This right here, this is from ABC News. It says the U.S. officials admit concern over the Syrian refugee effort. It says this.
This is scary.
This is scary.
I don't think most people don't get into the news, but these people are slated to enter the United States.
Yes, under the guise of a refugee effort. It says top U.S. counterterrorism officials say they're worried. They worry a potential terrorist could be hiding among refugees who are looking to come to the United States after escaping the brutal war in Syria.
In August, former CIA officer Bob Bakker told CNN he had been told with no uncertainty there are ISIS sleeper cells in this country now. And we know they're here.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, we have a door thousands of miles wide that's open, and they can come in. And, I mean, the headline today is ISIS planning attack on the United States soil.
That's right.
And they have talked to the Egyptians who have, they have captured Egyptian information people. They've been able to find information there.
Yeah.
The ground offensive, and they said some of the information indicates the new offensive will not be limited to the Arab world. Timed to coincide with its planned surge, ISIS is plotting possible attacks using cells abroad. And so they're talking about Egypt at the forefront of fighting ISIS is warning it has intelligence revealing the global jihadist group is planning a worldwide offense this spring. That's not that far away, right?
No.
We gave you the date. Or summer, that could reach targets within the United States.
And I really believe that the strategy that the United States, we could have attacked ISIS in a much different way if our current administration would have not been calling these people, calling them what they are. We were so careful not to call them Muslim extremists. We even called them Al-Qaeda's JV League. They were called Al-Qaeda's JV League. They've killed over 170,000 people. They far outweigh the wealth of Al-Qaeda, the means that Al-Qaeda has ever had. They are not a JV League.
No.
Do you remember when they attacked these 21 men and cut off their heads?
Yes.
There was a spokesman. Do you remember how he addressed and opened that speech? And what he said he said the people of the cross. Is that right?
That's right. He said the video addressed to, quote, the nation signed with the blood of the cross. The video was made so that people of the nation signed with the blood of the cross would understand what was taking place. Who is the nation of the blood of the cross? It's Rome.
Absolutely. And Italy right now fears that there will be an invasion from Libya to destroy Rome.
That's right. It says this. It says, while ISIS makes inroads in Libya, officials in Rome are panicking about an Islamist state just across the sea, but have no idea how to combat the crisis. Last week in Italy, as the great threat of ISIS in Libya hit home with a new video addressed to the nations signed with the blood of the cross and the warning, "We are south of Rome," Italian Prime Minister shuttered the Italian embassy in Tripoli and raised his fist with the threat of impending military action. Never mind that Italy has only 5,000 troops available. Now, Pastor, can I just commentate on this thought really quickly?
Yes.
They're saying this. Remember how I said that everything ISIS has promised to do, they have done it exactly how they said they're going to do it. Now they're saying that they are going to come for Rome. They're going to wave the black flag of ISIS over the Vatican. Several months ago, we had a very interesting, I'm a big fan, very awesome man by the name of Thomas Horn on our broadcast. And he brought us a book, and it's called The Final Pope is Here, Petrus Romanus. And what he outlined in this book was an ancient prophecy by the man named Saint Malachi. And he went over 112 very small 1 to 2 sentences prophecies that outlined every pope, the last 112 popes. And the very last pope, the 112th pope, according to this St. Malachi prophecy, was the very last pope that was to reign, and he was ultimately going to be around for the ushering in of the Antichrist. Now, can I read that small 1 to 2 sentence prophecy of that last 112th pope, which we now currently have?
Yes, go ahead.
It says this: "In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Petrus Romanus, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city," that's Rome, "will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people." The end. That was the very last prophecy before the Antichrist would be ushered in, and ultimately Christ would come back. And he said before that would happen, Rome would be completely and utterly destroyed.
In the 12th century, this Pope, Pope Malachi, predicts Pope Francis would be the final Pope. I'm not saying when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, except I'm saying it's kind of curious. ISIS is now saying Rome is next. They said we're going to destroy Rome. And is anybody going to do anything about it? I'm not sure. This group of people in their belief system, there's what? How many on earth? 1,600,000,000 or something like that?
Yeah, 1.6 billion. So 1,600,000,000 people, yes, of Muslims.
People say, well, where is the final war going to come from? Where are they going to get 200 million man army? It's already here. The largest religion on earth is not, the Christians were probably outnumbered, but the largest religion outside of the Christian religion. And so you have a billion point six.
Yes, 1.6 billion. That's roughly 1/4 of the entire world's population.
I just think it's kind of interesting that you bring to us this final prophecy of the Pope. The final Pope is here.
Petrus Romanus.
When these enemies, they're already in, they call them sleeper cells. Mm-hmm. They're already in our country, people. Whoever dreamed America would come to this? But whoever dreamed? Whoever dreamt?
Right.
Whoever dreamt that for a young girl, Kevin, to pray, and God bless America, and she gets yanked out of the classroom, taken down to the principal's office. Say, you bad girl, we have to punish you. But you got all this evil going unpunished. People cutting people's heads off. I saw it happen. Oh, don't offend those people. Let's make sure we take the crosses. We got to take the cross away because it offends them. Whoever dreamt America could go this crazy? Whoever dreamt that we could go anti-Christ?
Right.
If you don't believe in Christ, that's anti-Christ.
That's right.
This is bowls of the year for you, and it's double. Well, it's not even the amount of food yet, but I mean it's samples of the different ones the year for. Like this is a big bowl of the chili. Look at that hearty chili.
Yeah.
This is wonderful 9-grain cereal.
That's
9-grain, and very
Every
few
day.
cereals on earth. Until we did it, nobody else had done it. This is salva seed that cuts cholesterol, so you
Yes.
can be healthy during the last days.
Yes, that's right.
But so the time is coming when this food is going to be through. Pancakes comes with it. The
Yes, it
macaroni and
does.
cheese over here. Can you see that? Macaroni and cheese. You kids love this. They love it, don't you?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I'm
This is
coming up-
everybody's favorite.
Here is.
Actually, those are the cornbread muffins.
Yeah, I call them biscuits. The cornbread biscuits, cornbread muffins, and it's.
And you can eat them with the soups. You can eat them by themselves. They're so good. And they're
But
so,
you make them
hearty,
make them
good.
hot, you know, and if you still have butter left,
Yeah,
or you
or
got
you
a
can put
cow, you
coconut
can
oil
make
on
your
them.
you can
That's
churn up your
right.
own butter.
Look how
It wouldn't hurt
good.
to have a cow in your yard. Not well, if you're in New York City, you can't do that. But you know, I'm getting chickens now, Lori. Is that all right?
Yes,
We're gonna have chickens in our backyard.
Yay.
I'm just hoping the neighbors won't come after me. But I was in a city the other day, and right downtown they had chickens and roosters and chickens just running around. And I kind of liked it. Yeah, I kind of like that. Right now, I have my rabbit coop is done, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's out. It's just outside my
Rabbit.
office. Does that mean I have to care for the
It's
rabbits?
right outside your office. You can see it out the window, but it's a rabbit on one side and chicken on the other side. We're going to use those manures.
We're not raising the rabbits to eat them until we run out of food.
That's right.
But I will eat them
Yeah.
if we're starving. Okay. So don't tell me I eat. What's the rabbit's name? Fluffy or something? You know.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you can't eat Fluffy. Yes, you can when you're starving to death. And my uncle raised rabbits when I was a little boy, and I'd go there for Sunday dinner, and I got to like rabbit.
Yes.
It's
It's
stronger
tasty.
meat, but
So good.
my aunt Henrietta, she knew how to cook it. See?
Ricky wants nice little ones so he can pet them.
Oh dear
But
Jesus!
one of the big
Don't play with your food.
Yeah.
You might get attached to it, right?
People don't realize one of the largest organic companies in all the world was started by rabbit cages and droppings, and then they added a few other things.
Okay. Now, the main reason you've encouraged me to raise rabbits, what is it?
It's for the droppings, for the manure. It is perfect. But we have chickens. We have. And
He's
we're gonna show that.
obsessed with manure. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
this man is the manure man.
Yeah.
So you could call him John Manure.
Yeah,
But
that's yeah. That's
no,
how we
but
all
that's
started.
what. But that's why we're growing food in the middle of winter.
Amen. You have wonderful tomatoes, lettuce, and a number of herbs growing right in your front.
In the house.
Yes.
Right in the house where the sun comes in the window. And Lori, you're out there picking tomatoes. You picked a
Yes,
bunch
I
a few
did.
days ago.
I love it. They're so good. I just keep a small
But-
bowl right there on our kitchen countertop, and I just go by and just eat a few tomatoes as a
If-
little snack.
I want
It's
to tell you
wonderful.
something. If we have
I'm just
one
stirring away
ISIS
here.
attack major on this country, our food in the warehouses will go that day.
Yeah.
Are you hearing me at all? You all know this, don't you? My audience does, because I have a smart audience.
That's right.
And I'm glad to be able to hang with you guys because I want people that know the Word. Because a lot of people are going to go crazy when the world goes crazy. God's people are going to get more sane because they know the Word.
That's right.
That's
Amen.
it, right?
And so, look down there.
Wow, look at that.
Look at this food. Lori's in here. She's stirring it up.
Stirring it up.
But what is this right here? Does anybody know what this is here?
This is the cheesy rice casserole. I'm writing
This
a
is
shot
full
right
of
there.
rice and cheese. Can you
Yeah.
see that?
Oh, look at that.
Can you see that?
And vegetables.
Look at that. Look
Oh.
at that. Ooh,
Yeah.
I could just take bites of it right now. I'm hungry and I could just,
I know.
but that's going to fill you up.
Mhm.
You say, Jim, but you got a lot of rice, you got a lot of noodles in it. Yeah, and we got our bean burgers.
Well, it's
Yeah.
hearty.
And-
It
and we
keeps
have-
you alive.
We have a bean loaf because with that bean burger, you can make all types of different
Look at
recipes
that.
and you can get creative
see
with it.
this?
Anytime
Oh.
you would use meat, put bean burger in it and it will
That's
taste so
gorgeous.
great.
That potato soup there.
Oh,
that
look at
there's
it.
not a better potato soup
No,
on
and
earth.
it's so hearty. It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
and then you've got
You can taste the chunks of potato in it.
It's spicy. The chicken noodle soup. The,
don't we have
we can
the,
have Zach name them off, and we
Yes,
can.
I can.
the gravy and biscuits too?
Oh,
Yes,
yes, we
we
do.
This is just part of the food, but this is to show you
Chocolate.
what's
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the.
Yes.
This is in the year of food. This is in the year for 2. But
And the time
but
of trouble.
the reason I
Yes.
got John, I'm going to have you on the show more. So you need to. You're working, I know, all the time.
Oh, yeah,
but
he's gotta-
I want you.
You're
We're
out
going to
there
start
working.
teaching because let's just take the potato soup.
Okay.
What could you add into
Well, what I
potato
wanna
soups?
add on-
You could add
Yeah, we
leeks and onions.
We just recently had a training here at Morningside on dehydrating your veggies. Many of you were there and excited and sending me emails. Thank you so much. But, we've been taking these foods, Teresa and I, and adding these dehydrated carrots and rehydrating them. That's what turns them into gourmet meals. We've actually taken this food and turned it into gourmet meals just by all these additions and things that we put in there. Just fabulous.
Yeah, and then this is the bonus table over here.
Okay.
That
Yes, of the
this
premium
is
recipes.
how many meals are in this? Is it 90?
Yeah, well, for example, in the year for you,
One,
you're
I
going to
think.
receive 91 servings of the premium recipes.
And this is just some of them, I guess. This is the Rio Grande beans.
Yes.
This is the creamy
Creamy-
stroganoff.
Right.
This is the white cheddar pasta.
Yummy.
And then this
Anything.
is 6-grain cereal.
Yes.
You can see the oats
Oh,
in
you
that one.
can, right on.
And then this over here is
The
rotini alla marinara.
That's right.
And then there's a lot of different drinks that
Drinks.
comes with this one.
The orange
Some
drink.
chocolate milk, this white milk. Then the orange
drink,
comes with it,
yes.
and then there is
The
grape,
grape drink.
right? And so that's from the bonus packs
of the premium recipes.
from the Premium Recipe Company. And so when we keep the prices go up a few cents and down, it seems like lately, but if you get the 7 years, I know it comes to about 60 something.
Well, actually, the time of trouble is going to come to only about 37 cents a serving.
Fantastic.
Wow.
37 cents a serving.
So what are do you have the others added
is
up
fabulous.
yet?
That's incredible.
yes, for the year for you,
You're for one person.
yes, you're looking at around 44 cents a serving.
Oh, I thought it was up to 60 now.
No.
Oh, it's going there, believe me.
Yes.
But I mean, per serving, would some biscuits, with some bean burgers, with some wonderful soup. These are potatoes.
Right.
You could boil these and turn them. They come in slices, but you can make scallop potatoes
Right.
out of that,
Remember
or
those?
you could just cook them up and mash them up if you want. But where would you get real potatoes? That's nothing but real potatoes
That's right.
that are 20, 30 years shelf life. Look at this.
Oh, the fudge
This is
brownies.
brownies. I'm
Oh,
telling you,
yeah.
this is food to keep you alive. And then if you'll come to John, and
Oh,
we're
boy.
trying to build our barn right now. And if we can build this barn, I need some of you guys. Come on, there's strong guys. Come on.
We have a volunteer in the front
We're
row.
volunteer. Now we've got to start. We've had winter here
And we had
again,
Snow.
Snow set us
but we've
back.
we got to build this barn, and so that we, we're going to build the barn.
Yes.
I got something so much I want to tell you. I'm going to
Yeah, your visions are, you have to just, but we're going to build the barn so that we can grow, have the greenhouse.
And the classes are going to be,
all of that.
we're putting in the barn a big cook oven, a big refrigerator, but it's going to be, the barn will be where we can help feed a lot of people, but it's going to be classes in the barn so Teresa and John can teach us. You know, like, what are we doing at our house, John? We're putting in a whole, like, around our yard where we once had bushes and shrubs. You've let me out a few shrubs, but we've got, what do we have?
People are going to wonder, what have I done to you?
You're turning me into a farmer.
Yes. You have blueberry bushes that surround your perimeter of your home.
Got blueberries.
You have all peach and apple trees.
I have fig trees.
We have fig trees, 7 of them. 7 of them. We wanted to make sure we planted 7 fig trees.
They're biblical, so we're going to have our biblical fig trees, right?
And so then
I have apple trees. I have pear trees. I have cherry trees, I believe.
A banana tree? You have a few banana trees.
We had bananas this year, but we have to take them in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I know it's insane to have bananas, but I'll show them on the screen. We just had little ones because I didn't put them out. We're going to put them out real early.
But very soon, you and Lori will be able to walk out in your greenhouse. It is absolutely fabulous.
But the thing I want to tell the people, everybody, how many here, if you don't have one now, had a yard with shrubs and all in your backyard and flowers? You had a place to plant flowers.
Throughout your lifetime, I'm sure
You know,
everybody's had.
most everybody.
Throughout your lifetime, you
But
probably
here's
had
the thing:
Yes.
if you order your food today before it's gone, this amazing hearty food.
Yes. Hearty home cooking.
Then, if you cook tomatoes, like you could slice, like on these hamburgers. You don't have a hamburger out here, but you have the bean.
We have the bean loaf.
The bean loaf, which you can make a sandwich out of that.
Yeah.
Then you got slices of tomato, and our seeds. We got the hearty
Yes,
boy
we have
seeds,
those.
or what do you call those?
The legacy
Legacy
seeds.
Yeah, would you like me to talk about
No,
that?
and the tomato. The
yeah,
tomatoes.
Beefsteak tomato.
Beefsteak,
right
that's
here.
what they are. Beefsteak.
These are incredible.
And if you see the picture of what he grew from some of our seeds,
Right
there they
there.
are,
Look
right.
at that.
There's
That is
one
real.
of them. That's from our seeds, right?
That's from these seeds right here, the open heirloom seeds.
But he's going
beefsteak.
to, when you come to our classes this summer, or anybody who would help with $1,000 gift to finish this barn, to build the barn. We don't have money to do it, but we're still doing it. We got the beams out there, they're paid for, and we're putting in the foundations this week of the it's going to be a big old pole barn. It's a great big barn. You can see the picture on the screen of John and Teresa out in front of that's just a picture. It's going to be real soon. It's going to be real. And they're in the barn, you're building a farm shop.
Yes.
Where people can come and get all the things that you tell them to put in their gardens.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
That's correct.
The
We're
soil,
excited about it. Yes, all the
that
different
substrate.
trainings, hands-on training where people can come in. We promised you this recently. We're going to do things with our fingers, with our hands, just
But
like
what
Sasha.
about that dirt? You know, you.
Well, Sasha loves the
substrate.
mix
You
of dirt.
help build dirt.
She's a
You made dirt
professional already.
Well, you
We-
guys taught me, but yeah, it's the substrate dirt with the coconut fibers, and you have all of the different ingredients you put together to make it, and it grows these amazing fruits and
And
vegetables.
if you wonder why I'm growing a garden in the house, in the windows, with just little they're about
little
this
planter
deep,
boxes,
the little
yeah.
boxes that it's in, but we have good soil. I think that's scriptural, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that
good
is.
soil.
Rehydrated coconut.
And so John is going to teach it. And if anybody orders the seed, by the way,
The legacy seeds.
what you're sending them
Yeah, I would
all
like
the
to share
video,
that.
right?
I would love to share this because these are some of the greatest seeds on planet Earth. I have tried them. I live what I promote. And as you saw on the television here, just the beefsteak tomato. These are really incredible. The deal, I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep this type of a deal, but you've got it all down pat, but we got
Yes.
a box of superfood legacy seeds.
That's right. And it's called the Get Started Gardening Offer. And it's an incredible offer. And it's for a donation of $100 to the ministry. And it comes with the box of the Superfood Legacy Seeds, which is over 10,500 legacy seeds, 20 different varieties of different seeds in that. And it's also going to come with the Cinder Block Gardening Part 1 DVD and the Cinder Block Gardening Part 2 DVD.
And that's what
everybody's
I
gonna-
have in my backyard right now that we
Yes.
planted.
Yeah.
And
We
everybody's
planted
gonna be
late in
able
the
to
year.
see your backyard soon, I think.
We
But-
grew so much. The squash come from those seeds. I must have had 100 squash out there this year.
Did you ever have squash soup?
Oh, we bake it. Butternut squash, isn't that what it was called?
A part of this Get Started Gardening offer, there's even more in this. It also comes with the webinar. It's a questions and answers CD. It comes with all of the class training notes with that, and the cow panel gardening layout, the companion planting guide, the gardening seminars at Morningside by John and Teresa Musser, and also the tapings of the Jim Bakker Show while we demonstrated some of these things that we're discussing.
So a
And
lot
it's-
of bonuses.
Yes.
And I love the title, Get Started. Let's get started now.
That's right.
Kevin, what's that song?
We're getting started. Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
started in here.
Yeah,
You know,
we're
this
getting
is
prophetic.
prophetic because we have so
And-
many people
By the black-eyed
contacting
peas, another
us.
vegetable.
But
Contacting us
so
and asking questions. I would say begin to practice.
what I
Get
want
ready
to
right
what I
now.
want to do, everybody who orders the $100 today, that is going to go to build the barn.
Awesome.
We've got to.
Amen.
If we just
Amen.
so anybody orders the seed, and if you give $1,000, this is so amazing. You join the Farmer John's Club, and you get a membership card for life in the Farmer John's Club. But you get to come. What does it cost, like come like a 3-day seminar that you used to have at your farm? What would people pay to come, John? Hundreds of dollars, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Just these alone here were $150 for a seminar.
Just for the
that-
tapes.
Yes, just for the tapes alone, because we had so many people
Yeah.
wanting to know
But
about our farming system.
people that would come to a seminar like this would be hundreds of dollars to come and to
and we
learn.
were a third of the cost of most others doing anything similar to this.
And-
so we
but-
were offering a good deal.
Wow.
Those who join the Farmer Brown, no, I mean the Farmer John,
No, I'm
the Farmer
blue.
John's Club, they get free admission forever with their membership card to all your classes, all the seminars, and there's going to have to be a charge just to be able to, pay for things as we
Yes.
go along and all the supplies and
They would
everything we
have
use
to.
in the classes.
And-
But for those who will do that $1,000 now, not only do they get free attendance to all of the classes, all the how to can, how to plant things, how to put the dirt together so you grow super plants like these great big old tomatoes and that big, what was that great big leaf, green,
Collard greens.
was that
Yeah.
collard green?
Collard green.
Well, I'll
yeah.
tell you, those some southern people like collard green, right? And I want
Yeah.
to tell you something. That collard green's about as big as me, and but it's mainly the food you feed it, right?
Yes, that's
the dirt
correct.
you put it in.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes, and I just cannot wait to do the training. So many of you have asked so many questions, and we just are just planning. We probably, little Lori asked us just a week ago, how many classes you have? We probably have 100 different trainings altogether.
Wow.
So when you offer this,
Great.
But and
we haven't even got started. We haven't even hit.
Everybody who joins the Farmer John Club,
Yes.
they're going to receive that membership card, and it needs to be embossed because you want to keep it. I mean, you don't want a little cardboard thing. You need something to keep forever.
Right.
That's right.
But what you do in the barn is going to be where people want to come and get what do you call those big squares of coconut?
Our coconut fiber blocks.
The
10
coconut
pound
fiber
coconut
blocks.
Yes.
That's the root or the foundation of the growing of good plants. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And so this is, I think, what's really making my garden grow, because we plant everything in the coconut fiber, but all of those things in big squares, and it makes up a big tub. I mean, I'm surprised how big that thing turns out, aren't you?
John,
20 gallons
20
per
gallons.
10-pound lab it rehydrates into. And then, of course, we mix it with 2 other components, vermiculite and maybe a mushroom compost.
And
But one thing about coconut fiber is once you have it, it will not erode for decades. It's
there will be seeds. Everything you need, will have available at the farm store.
That's awesome.
Yes.
But everybody who joins, now listen to this, everybody that joins the club, they get 50, nothing like this, 50% discount on everything in the Farmer John store.
Wow.
I'm telling you, folks, you need to write that down.
And a lot of that's below cost. I mean, when you so it's just because you built the barn.
That's right.
You,
That's awesome.
I feel like you're part owner of the barn when you do something
well,
like
you're
that.
helping to make it a reality for
And so
Morningside and for you.
if we get some folks that'll join the Farmer John Club,
Right.
and
There it
his
is.
and wife Teresa,
Yes.
farmer's wife
Amazing.
Teresa,
Yeah.
you join their
Oh,
club,
that's cute.
and we're literally going to have where people can come and pick up vegetables and all, because we're going to have the greenhouses down in the valley part
Yeah.
by the farm, and people will be able to have a market, a farmer's
That's
market.
awesome. That really is like the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Finally.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Farmer's
Come
It's-
by and
but
pick out what you want.
I feel like we're a year behind. We've got to
Yeah.
do it now, because we're running out of time. And everybody join that the Farmer John Club, and you're going to be thrilled. It's not going to be some little puny barn.
No.
No,
You
not
see it
at
there on the
all.
screen. It's a big red barn. You know, Jim Bakker have to build a red one, but it's just the old red barn.
The
You know,
traditional.
but we need help. We don't have a dollar in the bank to build the barn. We don't. We don't have money to build Lori's house, and we every day we go to the mail and hope somebody sends, and then we can get some more paint, or we do a little bit. And the contractors, they're all gone, and it's just Sue. It's just our own people, right?
That's
Isn't
right.
it, honey?
Our people are there every single day working.
I mean, you're putting in pictures on the walls.
Well,
you're putting
that's
furniture
what Jim
in.
Bakker would do, so that's what we did.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't wait. We
No,
don't
we
wait
don't
till
wait.
the paint's dry. We just go on and
That's
get
right.
it
We're
going.
putting furniture together.
But
we're moving furniture in.
So here's the thing. Order your food now. If you haven't ordered food, there's coming a day when there won't be any more.
Right.
And once we go through the last of this food, this big hearty food deal will not be anymore. You know that.
No,
How can anybody order this
How can it be? It's
at
just
at
incredible.
at this
we
at
keep
this
saying it, but
price?
it's
And it's a
really about
gift to the
over.
ministry,
Yes.
and you're getting back
Mhm.
more value. I challenge anybody to go online and find any food for 40 cents
Right.
a
It's-
serving.
You won't.
You-
Trust me, we've tried and we've looked and we looked. And you can go ahead and look for yourself, but there's nothing out there that's this
No,
quality
no.
that you're going to find for even close to what
There's
we're
not
offering.
anything not this quality.
No.
That's right.
Yeah,
They're
you know
just
the average emergency food per serving is actually over $3. That's the average.
My
Now it's interesting, Pastor, that we did find one survival food that was about $1.05 per serving, and we found out that
serving.
yes, per serving, $1.05 per serving.
Ugh.
That was the cheapest we could find, and we found out that it is the exact same food that we offer here at the ministry. For example, at the time of trouble, that boils down to 37 cents a serving
Wow.
That for our food.
for our food.
Is that a good deal? Yes. That's right? All right.
Amen.
We have to go. Please stand with us, and appreciate audience here being with me today. Remember, God loves you. He really does. Bye-bye for today.
Bye-bye. We love you.
What if it was you being snowed in for days or weeks at a time? What will happen if a hurricane or a tornado strikes your home? Natural disasters occur every day, and they can happen anywhere without a moment's notice. With terrorism on the rise and a broken political landscape, we need to be prepared for the inevitable. Get ready now. At some point, food will be the most valuable commodity in the entire world. Our hearty home-cooked food, Year for You, is available for a donation of $550 or more to the ministry. This will ship to you in your choice of 4 buckets or 2 totes. This offer comes with 1,165 servings, which comes to 44 cents per serving. As a bonus, this offer comes with 91 servings of premium recipes. The hearty home-cooked food Year for 2 offer is for a donation of $1,100 or more to the ministry. This will come in 8 buckets or 4 totes. The Year for 2 contains 2,330 servings of food, which comes to 44 cents per serving. You will also receive 182 servings of premium recipes as a bonus. Our hearty home-cooked food Time of Trouble offer is for a donation of $3,000 or more to the ministry. This will come to you in your choice of 28 buckets or 14 totes. You will receive 7,760 servings of food, which comes to 37 cents per serving. You will also receive 273 servings of premium recipes. Each of these offers include instant milk, 9-grain cereal with salba, macaroni and cheese, macaroni lasagna, chicken noodle soup, beans and rice, vegetable stew, cheesy rice casserole, white cheddar pasta, veggie Alfredo, stroganoff, tortilla soup, black bean burgers, cornbread muffins, potato soup, chili, potato slices, chocolate fudge brownies, pancakes, and biscuits and gravy. That's 20 different recipes for you to choose from. Call 1-888-988-1588. You can also go to the website at jimbakkershow.com or write to P.O. Box 7330, Branson, Missouri 65615. Don't wait. Now is the time to prepare for your future. Get your food now for your family.